All right, good afternoon and happy Friday. Let's go ahead. We will get going. Let's just start standing. All right, so now we're going to take those feet about hip distance apart. Okay, pick up those toes. Okay, so we're grounding through the heels and the balls of the feet. Okay, we're going to spread those toes out as wide as we can. Now, first, lower just the pinky toe down towards the mat. Keep the other four toes lifted. And now we're going to lower big toes down. Middle three toes will stay lifted. Okay. Then lower those three down. So we're gripping all 5 toes or all 10 toes into the mat. Okay. We want the outside edges of those feet nice and parallel to each other. Okay. Standing nice and tall. So that core is tight. Tailbone is drawing down just slightly. It doesn't have to be super awkward, but just engaging through that spine. So rib cage down, tailbone down, abs nice and tight, shoulders down and back. Okay, maybe even give it a few shoulder rolls if those shoulders are feeling especially tight. Good. I'll relax it down, reach those fingers up, big breath in, and exhale it out. Now let's reach those arms up overhead, interlacing those fingers, pull those arms back, keep that core tight, and send a nice gentle bend over to that left side. Inhale it back up, and exhale over to that right side. Inhale, bring it back up. Now let's twist your right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale, bring it up to the other side. Reach that left hand forward, right arm reaches back. Inhale, bring it back up. Interlace those fingers, and side stretch over to the right. Inhale it back up, side stretch to the left. Inhale it back up. We'll twist, left hand forward, right arm reaches back. Inhale it up to the other side. Inhale, bring it back up. One more time. Interlace the fingers, side bend. Back up to the other side. Back up and twist. Left hand forward, right hand back. And up and twist. Bring it back up. Now bend into that left elbow, or no, your right elbow. Left hand reaches for it. Stay tight to that core. So press the head back first. Feel that stretch in the back of the arm. And then side bend over to that left side. And back up, switching sides. Press that head back, core tight. And side bend. Bring it back up. Let's interlace those fingers behind the back. So pull those knuckles down first. Start to open through that chest. And then maybe bring those hands away from those hips. Now let's reach those arms up. Walk those feet out a little bit wider. So maybe that pinky toe is right at the edge of the mat. Keep that core nice and tight. Sink those hips down into that squat. So with the arms up, it does make it a little bit harder to sit. So maybe we work towards getting those hips parallel towards the ground, or the thighs parallel to the ground. Press the knees out, maybe a little stretch through those ankles, the calves. Good, press, rise on up. And let's bend into that left elbow, side stretch over to the right. Back up, switch sides, and bend over to the left. Bring the arms up, interlace those fingers, open up through that chest, and then reach those arms up. Sink the hips down into that squat. One more breath. Bring it back up. Left elbow bends, side bend to the right. Back up. Bend the right elbow and bend it over to that left side. Back up, interlace those fingers, open that chest, and release those arms up. Grip those toes down hard, press the feet up, press the knees up, sink those hips down, and then we can relax those arms. Bring those hands to heart center. Maybe those hips drop a little bit lower. And let's lower that right hand down, press it into that knee. Left arm reaches up. And switch. Left hand down, right arm reaches up. And straighten the legs. As we fold, bring those feet parallel to each other. Half lift. Lengthening out through that spine, so flatten out that back as much as you can. One more breath. And then slide those hands down. You can just let that head hang heavy. Maybe give it a little sway from side to side. And let's plant those hands down. Step those feet back to our plank. We're going to add in some push-ups, so it can be on your toes or on your knees. Okay? We want those hands back so the shoulders are over those fingertips. Chest pulls forward. Now start to end those elbows. Shoulder blades will pull together and press it away. Okay? Lower back down and up and down. Back up. Two more. Down. Up. Last one. Down. And up. Toes together. Knees wide. Press it back into a child's pose. Reaching those arms out long. Bringing the knees a little bit wider. So when we relax down, that chest kind of pulls down towards the mat. Feel a little bit of a stretch to the upper back. Then come back to hands and knees. Let's step it back to a plank. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those hips up high. Down dog. Now let's step that right foot through to that right thumb. Back knee lowers down, hips press forward. Let's twist, right arm reaches up. So try and press the hips forward a little bit more here. Might take a breath or two. Get that hip to release. So think we pull that left knee forward, right here pulls back. Just kind of squeeze there for a breath. And exhale, soften. Maybe that hip kind of softens down a little bit more. Now from here, we can start to bend into that back knee, reach that foot back. So maybe on this first one, it's not really happening. Okay, or maybe you find that you can grab it, up to you. We want thumb up towards that pinky toe side of the foot. Gently, if you have it, gently pressing that foot into the hand. And you can pull it back towards you a little bit more. Big, big stretch through that quad. And release that foot down. Let's straighten that leg out. Pull the right toes back for that half split. Then rebend into that knee. Step it back to our plank. And then hips up, down dog. And let's step that left foot through to that left thumb. Lower that back knee down. Let's twist. Left arm up. So then here we want to pull left heel back. Right knee presses down and pulls forward. And then soften as those hips press forward a tiny bit more. And then we can start to bend into that back knee. Maybe just hold it here. Or we can reach for that foot. So we're gently pressing that foot into the hand and then pulling it back towards us. One more breath. And release that foot down. Straighten that front leg, pulling the toes back, hovering over that thigh. And then rebend that knee. Step it back to our plank. Let's go back to those push-ups. 5 of them on the toes or on the knees. Down, up, that's 1. Down, up, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, and 5. Lower the knees. Send it back to a child's pose. Let's come back to our plank. Step it back. We'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Send those hips up. Down dog. Then we'll step that right foot towards that right thumb. Back knee lowers down and twist. Right arm reaches up. Bend that back knee. Reach for that foot. And release that foot. Straighten that front leg. Pull the toes back. And then rebend that knee. Step it back. Down dog. Other side. Left foot steps through. Back knee down. Twist. Maybe we find that foot. And release that foot. Straighten that front leg. Pull those toes back. And then rebend into that knee. Step it back to our plank. Let's go down dog. Last set of push-ups. So roll it forward. Plank position. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Knees down, hips back. Child's pose. And then come back to hands and knees. Step it back. Down dog. And then step those feet up to the hands. Half a lift, really lengthen out, flatten out that back as much as you can, bending those knees as much as you need to. Slide those hands down as we pull, just let that head hang heavy. And bend those knees, flatten out that back, rise on up. I can interlace those fingers this time, flip those palms to point up, squeezing those biceps by the ears, taking that arch out of the low back. Side bend to the right. Inhale it up. Side bend to the left. Back up. Release those hands down as we fold. Now let's take a big step back with our right foot and then just turn to face that long edge of your mat. So toes will be turned out just slightly. Now you can turn whatever direction so you're facing the camera, it's fine. Toes are out, let's lunge into that left knee. Hips down, chest is up, keeping this heel down, this left heel down. Back to center and then over to the other side. And center, switch. Go center, add switch. So keep those hips low as we transition from side to side. Let's go one more time, each way, over. And over. And bring it back to center. Turn those toes in, heels out. Nice flat back and fold, walking those hands back. You can bring those feet maybe even a little bit wider. Really work those feet all the way out to the edge of the mat. So lengthen out through that spine, then use those hands, pull that belly between those legs a little bit more. Now let's re-lengthen out. Hands will come right underneath those shoulders. You can be on those fingertips too. Back is nice and flat, twisting. Left arm reaches up and down. Twist right arm up and down. One more time each side. Twist. Left arm up and down. Right arm up and down. Now, slight bend into those knees. Rise on up. Let's interlace those fingers behind the back. Open up that chest. Slight bend the knees. Press the hips back. Flat back as we fold. So knuckles are reaching up. Shoulders away from the ears. And release those hands down. Lengthen back out. Let's walk those feet back to the front, or the hands back to the front. Step it back to a down dog. And let's bring that right knee tap, right wrist. Foot comes across. Left leg slides back. And we'll lower onto those forearms, resting that head down for a couple of breaths. Come back to those hands. Step it back, down dog. And then bring that left knee to the left wrist. Foot comes across. Right leg slides back. And lower onto the forearms. Resting that head down. Just relax here. Let's come back to our hands. Send it back, down dog. Now let's lower those knees down. Keep those toes tucked under. Knees can be together, feet can be together, or maybe a few inches of space in between each. You just want those ankles, the Achilles, these things, to be pointing straight up and parallel to each other. Okay, and then start to sit those knees, or not your knees, your hips back onto those heels. Now, if your feet are really tight, maybe we just stay here with the hands on the ground. You can bring those hands to the thighs, okay, or completely stack those shoulders right over those hips. So all the pressure is on your feet. This is going to be the biggest stretch through those feet. Relax those shoulders, maybe close down those eyes. Trying to really focus on that breath, especially if those feet are feeling super tight. And go ahead and plant those hands down. Give those toes a little wiggle. And then let's come into a seat. Legs crossed. Reaching those arms up overhead. That side bend over to your left side. Inhale it up. Over to the right side. Inhale it back up. Twist it to the right. And to the left. And center. Closing down those eyes, sitting tall. Just being in this space for a couple breaths. So focusing on that inhale and exhale. And then blink those eyes open. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. And then again, we have yoga tomorrow, 9:30 Saturday. All right. Thanks, guys.